Welcome, Elaine, to the Equine Business Podcast, also known as the Stable Business Podcast. It's so lovely to have you here. So, just to get started, can you tell us a bit more about who you are and what you do?
Hi, Jenny. Thank you very much for having me. It's great to be here. I'm Elaine Park, and I help female entrepreneurs to get confident on camera and create video to put to the social media and promote the business. We all know how video helps us to get the know, like, and trust factor with our audience, which is crucial if we want to convert to sales. So I'm all about helping people with video, and I'm here today to chat all about it.
It's always one of those things, isn't it, where people are like, I can't, no, I'm happier to hide behind my face. And I don't know if you found this, but I have, working with equine entrepreneurs, I think they're even worse than probably most entrepreneurs. They're like, no, really, I don't want to. I feel like I'm very introverted. So, like, how do you think, ultimately, like, what does matter when it comes to getting out there and showing yourself on video?
I think basically to lead with value, it's all about how you can help the person who you're talking to, because otherwise what's in it for them to watch? So obviously, if you're not in business, then you're probably there for the entertainment and your friends and your audience will like that. But if you're a business owner, then our ultimate job is to drive them to our website or to whatever we want them to do, to basically increase sales. So we always have to have a purpose. But basically, it's just get going and start, give value. That's what's in it for the viewer. That's what you've got to think every time.
Yeah. I think that first step is often the hardest as well. Like when people, like a lot of people often say to me, "Oh, Jenny, you look so confident when you're on video. You do so much of it." And I said, "But it's because I've been doing it for a long time. And this isn't my first business, and it isn't the first business that I used. A lot of what I learned with my last business, which I go into a bit more detail of the story. It kind of fell flat, but I used to make a lot of YouTube videos and things like that. And some of them are shocking. Like, and I guess it's not being afraid, like getting over that. I was trying to put it into words, like being brave enough to actually, not do it well. It's kind of like if you're learning to ride a horse, you get on and you go for a trot and you might look ridiculous for the first few times, but you keep showing up and you keep trying. So I guess, like, how do you help other people to build that confidence up? Like I feel like it's kind of helping them to take that first step and know that it will get better and it will get easier. Like what do you tend to do? Like, what's your advice to people?
Well, I'd say exactly the same thing, that you decide you're going to start and do some dressage. You're not going to be Charlotte Desjardins next week. That's a fact. You've got to keep putting in the reps and you've got to keep doing it, and you've got to prepare, to suck at it at the beginning. That's fact. But as I say to my members, there's no way around. It's only through. You've got to do it. You've got to get your big girl pants on and you've got to show up. You've got to, start with a 15-second video giving a tip to your audience, something that's really going to help them. Post it to your stories. That way, not a lot of people are going to see it at first, and it's gone after 24 hours, but at least you've broken your duck, so to speak. You've got it out there. You've shown up on camera, because that's what's going to connect you to your people.
Yeah. And I often say, like, to people, it's not about you. And a lot of the time we get stuck. What's happening is we're getting stuck on us, and we're getting stuck on, oh, what if I look bad? What if I can't find the words? What if I can't? And actually, sometimes it's having that trust that I need to talk to that. They need me, they need to hear what I've got to say. What I've got to say is going to be important, even if to me, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I get a lot of people say to me, oh, but Jenny, you said this, and I watched this video and you said this, or I listened to the podcast and you said this. And I don't even remember saying it, because sometimes I just whittle on. It's like, and I think sometimes people have just got to trust that. Do you find the same?
Yeah, it's like now I come on here, I didn't know what you were going to ask me, and that's fine, because when you know your subject, it doesn't matter what they ask you, you're always going to be able to answer. It's like when you're talking to your friends, isn't it? You don't worry about, before you go out to somebody's house, what am I going to say to her when I get there? She's going to start the conversation, you're going to talk, and you know your friend, and that's how it goes. You'll always have something to say. And like I say, when you come from that place of giving value rather than all about being you and pushing your products and services, then you've got to think of what's in it for them to watch. And like you say, the words will come, and it's practice. It really is. And when you understand how, if you start with a hook and then you get straight into the content rather than, hi, I'm here and I'm happy to be here, and isn't it a lovely day today, and we're doing the no, just give them the hook, 5 tips to this, and then just get straight into your content so that you're training your viewer that she's not going to waste my time. I'm going to get value every time I watch it. She doesn't waffle on. It's quick, it's short, and this is worth watching.
Yeah, I must admit, it's one of my pet hates is when you see somebody's live and then they're like, I'm just going to sit here and wait for everybody to show up. And you're like,
why do I not matter? I'm here, I'm watching you.
Yeah. It's like, hello. Yeah, just get on with it and people will show up. And if anybody feels they missed the beginning, they'll go back and find the beginning later. And yeah, I've often sort of led with that, like, just get a idea of what you're going to talk about. I'll often say to people, like, just think of 3 things to say, like 3 main points. Don't worry about the rest. Yeah, and say this is what I'm going to talk about. 1, 2, 3, and this is what I need to say. Like, just to finish, like if they want more details, this is how to get in touch with me or whatever. Like, do you often find that giving people that sort of structure helps, or have you got any other tips for?
No, yeah, that's what I would say. I would say have a hook so that what's in it for them to watch. Why should they watch? Get straight into your information. If you've anything that you want to say, and if you want to talk about yourself and say why they should be listening to you, I would get into the information first, and then I would weave it in a little bit in between. Focus on the value, and then at the end, give them a call to action, whatever you want them to do. Download your freebie, go to your Instagram account, go to your website.
Yeah, and I guess it's a bit like if you were having a riding lesson, like you'd go, you just do it, and then at the end you'd go, how would I make this better? And then you can add stuff in next time, and you can build on it bit by bit to improve it, to go, well, next time I need to say this, next time I need to say that. And sometimes it's just a case of just trusting that, yeah, it's gonna get better. People are going to get what they need, and you're going to improve.
Yeah, definitely.
So, like, how do you feel like people are best to create content? So if somebody was saying, like, I want to create video, I want to show up, like, what do you think are like the best platforms or best places that especially equine entrepreneurs could be showing up in their business?
Well, to me, most people are on Facebook, so you're going to find your people there. I like Instagram because it's very much like having your own TV channel. There's so many different elements to it, and I find it such a great platform for video. I don't think there's anybody that pushes reels out more than Instagram do if you want to start with video. However, it's not all about the vanity metrics for sure, which I'm sure we'll come back to shortly. And YouTube, if you're serious about having a video strategy for your business to push for more sales, then I would work on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And it's all about creating one piece of content and then using that to promote everywhere, because I'm all about getting the best bang for your buck and not wasting time. And me
too. It's like you've got to make sure that you're repurposing. And I often say to people, just create one key piece, and then from that create all the little bits, like make some reels, even if it's not necessarily from that bit, but you can just use the topic and just go, okay, I said these 3 things, and split it up that way, because that way you get a much longer bang for your buck almost with your content, don't you? Because Instagram is great, but again, sometimes the length of your content matters. So if people were thinking about like creating videos, like what do you think like if they were sort of starting, but I don't know what to talk about even in my business, like how would you help people to sort of come up with those ideas?
Well, first of all, I would say you've got to know what problems your ideal person, your target market have. So for instance, if you were an equine physiotherapist or something, you would have to know what are your ideal person's struggles. So maybe the horses are stiff, maybe they've had an injury, whatever all the problems are that they come to you with and what you solve. And then you've got your sport horses, you've got probably Bob the Cob type people. You've a different complete set of customers. So if you think about all of those and the problems that they have, probably each horse could have the same problem. And obviously the sport horses may be a little bit more in depth, but in general, you'll have an idea, and then think about those pieces of content and how you can help your ideal person, showing your expertise and your knowledge. We also showing testimonials of people that have used you, which is then going to build trust with your audience, and they're more likely to give you a ring when they want your services, because they know that you put out content that's good, that's going to help them, you know what you're talking about, and you know, it's just a good trust factor really all around. So
yeah, and I often say to people that is the magic of using video, because people know if you're going to gel with them. They know if you're on their wavelength. They can get a sense of like your energy. And they just know, yes, this person is for me, or oh gosh, no, this person isn't for me, just from how you come across. And I think it makes it much easier and much quicker to find the right ideal clients. And have you found that with like your customers and things, that actually once they get confident and show up, people know them and they're like, I can spend money? Because ultimately people spend with people, don't they? And it makes
people, don't they? Not exactly, not products and services.
No.
And that's it for sure. It's like you say, you can easily get rid of the ones that you don't gel with, and that's a good thing. You know, it's not, like we said, it's not about the numbers. It's about having the right people in your audience, people that you know, do trust you and know, and well, ultimately going to buy from you, because you know, it's no good having. I did a reel on this actually the other day, and it was like going to Tesco with you paying for you can't pay for your weekly shopping with 40,000 views on your reel, can you? Because you know, it's all about money in the bank. It's
ultimately, it's what I often say to people, because they're like, oh, but I need to go viral, I need more reach, I need more, and it's like, do you? And they're kind of like, do what? And then, because again, that's what they're being fed from a lot of what's going on social media. You see everybody's going, oh yeah, do this, you'll get more reach, you'll get more viral. But if it's not actually giving value back to you as well as value to them, we need to fix that, don't we? And it's quite important. So like, how would you help somebody to make sure that actually they're getting that return for their videos, like to get those money in the banks and those clients, rather than just the numbers?
Well, it's about focusing on, you need to be clear on what you want. So for me, I'm clear that I want to drive people to my freebie to get them on my list. I then nurture them with value on my list, and then I will put offers out. So that's just how it works. You've got to give value, and then they'll reciprocate. And if you're always taking, you've got to fill the jar up, as we know. And if you're always going to take from it and always asking for the sale all the time, buy my stuff, here's another product, people just switch off. You know, they want you, they want to see the real you behind the scenes. They want to get to know you, don't they? And basically, as you say, people buy people.
Yeah, and it's getting that sort of trust. And I often say to people, like, it's a fine balance between sell, and then because people are worried that people are going to say, oh, you just feel like you'll buy my stuff. So then they don't sell at all. You either get the people who are totally pushy in your face, or you get the people who just like, oh no, I can't ask you. And I often have to coax those people out and say, no, you need to be at least doing something, or telling somebody what the next logical step is, or where they need to go. Like, you don't have to be overly selly. Like I'll often say in this podcast, like, if you want to grab this, head to my website. If you want to message me, this is how to get started. Like, how do you think you would help somebody to be able to sell confidently as well on video?
Well, you've got to stand firm in the fact that, you know, if you can stand behind your product 110%, then, and you should be able to, otherwise you shouldn't be selling it, then you've nothing to fear, have you? I can say with conviction that my memberships can help people to get on camera who are struggling, who want to know more about video, and I do not have any problem at all with promoting it to people and giving somebody a link who I know is struggling or who reaches out to me. Because, and I don't mean somebody who just DMs me for something completely different. I'm not going to start throwing links and shoving them down the face, not at all. But I will always drop it in the conversation. I will always tell people who I talk to, they'll ask what you do, and I will always mention it, because they talk to people, and you know, you're always looking for the next one. That's how how it works. And
how it works, definitely, isn't it? And it's kind of like, even if that person, I often say to people, but if you don't say, even if that person isn't your ideal client, you'll be surprised who they know. And I've got a client as well that's working with me, and there's somebody that I know in the PR world, and yeah, we just had a conversation one day, and she knew, and of course when she then got a client that said, I just need somebody who understands equine business, she was just like, boom, you need Jenni.
Yeah,
and now I've been working with that person for six months or so, which she wasn't in my network, she hadn't found me yet. So sometimes it's like, yeah, building that, just keep putting out there, keep saying this is how we can get started, this is what we do. It makes a massive difference. And yeah, and it's getting confident to actually say that. And I think there's a lot of mindset issues around the showing up, and we spoke about this like earlier, about how we're worried often how people think or might see us, especially the people that we care about.
yeah.
So if somebody is struggling with that, thinking, oh, I'm worried that my people that I know will think I'm stupid or they'll judge me, like, do you have any tips for people who are struggling with that?
Yeah, and I have a YouTube video on that. I'll give you you can put the links in the show notes, and it's on imposter syndrome. Everybody feels like that, absolutely everybody. So don't think that it's only you. When I first started, I was worried about, oh, I carry too much weight, I have a broad Lancashire accent, what will people think, what will people say, who am I to be doing this? And you know, it doesn't matter, you're not going to take any notice of anybody that's not in the arena basically with you, that's doing it. And anybody that is knows exactly what it takes to actually stand up and get on camera. And as far as your family and friends, they're not on your journey. They're not, if they want the best for you, obviously, but they don't understand how beneficial it is to get on camera and to actually, you know, start to build your audience perhaps. So, and they probably won't be thinking what you think they think anyway. It's all, you know, it's all in our minds. And it's
like I often say to people, the people who matter, the ones that are going to pay us, are the ones that we need to worry about, not the people who are going to judge us. And yeah, I used to have this. I love my mum dearly, but occasionally she'd see something, she'd be like, oh, didn't like how you did that. And it used to really bother me for a long time. And I just suddenly thought, I didn't do it for my mum. I didn't do it for her. And her opinion isn't going to pay my bills at the end of the day.
sure,
and
sure.
yeah, and it's like I have to show up, because I have to just trust that there's one person who needs to hear what I've got to say today.
And if you've helped one person today, then you've done your job, haven't you?
And
you
if I just help one person every day with something that I've said, and yeah, and like even then sometimes it'll be on email or it'll be on a video that I did, and somebody's just like, that is just what I needed today. It was like, I almost feel that sometimes these messages come because there's somebody that needs them. And even though at the time we're thinking, I don't know why I said that. I don't know why, but I just felt that I needed to touch on this today.
And say that on video. You know, if something does come through and you think, I've thought of this today, then say that and show up. You know, if you know it's going to be of service for your ideal person, then
say it, because that's how we build those bonds. And it is, when we're working with somebody, when we want them to be a client or a customer, the more they get to know us, the more confident they will feel. And like I often say to people, because they'll be like, oh, I'm not getting enough views, I'm not getting enough reach. It's like, you've just got to trust that somebody is building their way up. And maybe it's not about it's about them, just they've got to be in the right place, the right time. And when you say that one thing, they'll just suddenly go, boom, yeah, I'm ready now.
I think AI is doing quite a good job, especially on Instagram. Like, my views have dropped completely, but I did have a break whilst I was working on a big project. I did have a break, so I think that probably affected my reach. But I find now it's connecting me with the right people. I've got the right people following me and starting to build the audience, rather than having massive loads of views that never really got any leads from. Yeah, I get leads every day, but nothing that was, you know, for the amount of views. When you're getting 10,000 views on a reel, well, you know,
are they all ideal clients? It's like, we can all put something silly out there, can't we, to get those views.
Exactly.
Yeah, if they're not going to convert into clients, I'd rather have 10 people view something that are ideal than 10,000.
Yeah, and you don't have to show up and lip sync, dance and point. That's not what the videos are about. You know, trends are great. Maybe do a trend once a week if that's what you want to do, because then you've half a chance of getting new eyeballs on you. But you've got to stand out. You've got to be different. You've got to show up and, like you say, show your values, show what you're about, give your opinions, your points of view, because nobody's had your experiences, not your history, your view, your take on things. No, you know, even if somebody is in the same industry as you, they cannot do it like you can, because you know,
we're all,
nobody's had those
we're all
experiences.
unique. Yeah, even then, I remember somebody saying, "Oh, but we had the same upbringing, like a pair of siblings." It's like, but you
No,
didn't, because you weren't the oldest and you weren't the youngest, and so therefore you had a different perspective, even if everything else is the same. And I think sometimes
sure.
we have to remember that actually we've all got value to bring to the table, even when we think we haven't. There's a lot, and I think that's the trouble. We often think that, oh, everybody knows that. Like, why do I need to say it? Everybody knows that? And it's like, oh, actually, I need to say it again, because even though I've already said that. Why would I do another video on it? Why would I say it again? It's like,
Keep banging that drum, getting your message out there, because you know, people do need to hear it several times, don't they? Especially if you're known for one particular thing. We think we run out of topic ideas, but no, we don't.
no.
And also infuse, like, you know, if you're an equestrian business, give some tips to on equestrian things outside of your industry,
Yeah.
other than what you do, because you know, your audience is horse owners, so that's, you know,
Do that. Document what you've seen. Yeah, that's what I say to people. It doesn't have to be anything like, you don't need to have a perfect script. It doesn't have to be great. Document something that you've seen today that you need to actually share, or something that happened. Show the proof that you're doing. Like, because I think, again, like, yeah, this is where I am today. This is what I'm doing. You know, because that will help to build all that know, like, and trust, which really
sure.
does matter. It does matter. So, are there any other tips that you would like to share with any equine entrepreneurs who are thinking, should I do video more?
Well, I would say yes, you should do video more, because like you say, that is how you're going to best connect with your audience, and you're going to connect in an authentic way. I make sure that you can be seen and you can be heard. Make sure that your viewer can tell what you're saying, and that, you know, they're not struggling to have to work to watch it, because they won't. They will just swipe. If they can't hear you or see you, then they're not going to put the effort in. You don't have to spend a fortune on equipment. iPhone is perfectly adequate. The microphone on that is perfectly adequate, but just be careful if you're outside and you're in the wind noise will affect it. And just basically think of 3 tips that you can do with your first video that can really help your ideal person. And just, like I say, start with a hook. Think of something that's going to get them to watch, get straight into your 3 tips. And then, you know, if you like this video, comment below. If you know, I've got a freebie, whatever call to action at the end you want to give them. And then that's just a quick video done. And just keep building and building and building on it.
Yeah. And so if anybody wants to learn more about what you do, Elaine, and Go For It Girl Entrepreneur, where can they find you?
At Go For It Girl Entrepreneur is my handle across Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And yeah, just come over there, follow me, and I give tips and help. And if you need anything at all, just...
And you've got a freebie as well, haven't you? Which is a confidence on video journal. So again, if somebody's thinking, I want to do this, but hold it, because a lot of the time we are our own worst enemy, aren't we? We hold ourselves back. It's just our own way of trying to keep ourselves safe. But actually, if you feel like you're called, go and grab Elaine's journal. I'm sure that will really help and
help you to move past your confidence blocks.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and do go and check out Elaine and make sure that you get her freebies and anything else.
Just know that you are good enough to show up today and do it. You don't need anybody's permission and approval, and you know what? It's your journey, and eye on the prize. Stop in your own lane and eye on the prize.
Yeah. Your clients, go out there and serve them. Like, serve them in the... it doesn't matter about anything else. Just serve your ideal people where they're at ultimately. So, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's been great.